Hey, morning. There is a lie out there that's keeping men stuck. I have lost count of how many men that have come into my office, sat in my chair over here across from me, slumped down and whispered something along the same lines as, "I think I'm broken." And behind that phrase comes a chorus of cultural messaging that, well, you probably need therapy, or at least a diagnosis, or a treatment plan, or maybe a lifetime of sessions to help you get through it. So let me stop right here. I am not anti-therapy. I've spent years working with people as a counselor, as a coach, as a hypnotherapist. I've worked with trauma. I've worked with anxiety. I've worked with depression. I know the power that a skilled, trained counselor and therapist can have. And I've seen miracles happen with that type of work. But I've also seen men using therapy as a way to avoid the truth. Week after week, they come in spilling the same story over and over, hoping that the counselor will pull a magic trick, snap their fingers, and while never actually stepping into a raw honesty that's going to change things for them. And that's the lie. That's the negative trance that's killing a lot of men out there today. That trance of labels. I hate labels. I hate labels. And this is what our culture tells us. You're anxious. That's who you are now. You know, if you're feeling anxious, then you're anxious. They label that as your identity, right? You feeling depressed? Oh no, you're depressed. That's your new identity. That's who you are. You got ADHD? Well, you better accept it and all that goes along with that, so that you can excuse every setback, every challenge that you're up against that you don't meet in the way that society thinks it should be met. The thing is, those labels are useful to describe what's happening, but they are poison when you confuse them with who you actually are. And this is exactly what happens in that negative trance of therapy dependency. Men start living like their diagnosis is a tattoo across their forehead. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a diagnosis, and there's nothing wrong with getting a tattoo. But when you live like that diagnosis is tattooed across your forehead, then you begin to catch yourself saying phrases like, well, I can't because I have X, I have anxiety, I have trauma, I have. The truth is, though, your brain is plastic. Your nervous system is adaptable. Your spirit is resilient. You're not a label. You're a man in process. The thing is, truth hurts more, but it heals faster. Most men avoid the truth because it hurts. The truth strips away all of your excuses. The truth exposes that part of you that you've been hiding. That truth forces you to admit, I've been choosing this. I've been cooperating with my own self-destruction. And therapy is a safe place if you only use it to vent. Truth is dangerous. It changes things. I'll have clients that come in, or potential clients that come in and sit across from me, and I start telling them the truths that we're going to have to face as we begin our work together. And a lot of them leave after that consultation, and I never hear from them again, because truth hurts, truth is painful, And truth is the only way they're going to heal. Therapy's safe if you just use it to vent. Truth is dangerous because truth actually allows you to change things. And here's the secret. Most men don't need another 10 sessions of analyzing their childhood wounds. They need to look at themselves in the mirror and say, look, I have been lying to myself. I've been numbing myself out with porn, with booze, with scrolling, with food, and I'm done. And that moment of truth is more therapeutic than 1,000 hours of sitting in my chair here. Because that cycle, if it's not broken, never ends. So this is something, just let me paint a picture for you for what I see in a typical week with folks that come to see me. So a man comes in, he sees me, he says, I'm dealing with anxiety. I'm anxious all the time. And we dig a little deeper, and it turns out that, well, he's not sleeping, he's not eating clean, he's not moving his body, he's scrolling on his phone, either on Facebook or porn till 2 a.m. 2 a.m. And he's convinced that he's got this condition, and really it's just a pattern. It's a habitual pattern. The medical model says diagnosis, treatment, medication, therapy. But the truth says, listen, man, your nervous system is fried because you're living like a zombie. If you change how you live, your brain's going to change. It's not rocket science, it's discipline. But discipline doesn't sell. It does not sell. Diagnoses do. And so we have a culture that's addicted to talking. And this one stings a little bit because some men get addicted to therapy itself. Why? Because talking feels like doing something. When you're talking about it, you feel like you're doing something about it. You unload your story, you cry, you feel lighter for a day or 2 or 3 or maybe a week, and then the same trigger comes along and you're back in the chair the next week to see me. That's not healing. That's outsourcing your responsibility. And the truth demands action. And therapy without truth just feeds the cycle. And so you're in this continuous loop. And what happens is there are 3 lies that most men believe about therapy. The first one is if I keep talking about it, I'll eventually get better. No, talking about it is step 1. Action is step 2. And without step 2, nothing changes. If all you do is repeat step 1 over and over and over again, you're not moving forward. Another lie that most men believe is, well, my therapist is going to fix me, or my counselor is going to fix me, or my coach is going to fix me. No. I'm sorry. No one is coming to save you. Not your therapist, not your pastor, not your wife, not your best friend. Healing is cooperative. You've got to show up. You've got to do the work. You've got to live differently. And a third lie that is believed by a lot of men out there is, my pain is just who I am. And that's a negative trance. The truth is, your pain is something you've been through. It's not who you are. And we work to learn how to separate that. So what do you need if it's not 10 more sessions or 20 more sessions or endless counseling sessions? What do you need? You don't need endless therapy. You need truth. And this is what it looks like in practice. You've got to take some radical ownership. You've got to stop saying I can't and start admitting I won't. There's a difference. There's a difference, a big difference in that I can't and I won't. Because most of the time it's I won't. I won't change. I won't do this. I won't do that. I won't make any effort. I just want you to snap your fingers and make it all go away. So you got to take some radical ownership. You've got to embody some action. Healing doesn't happen just in your head. It happens in your body. There's a great book out there on trauma and working with folks that have experienced trauma called The Body Keeps the Score. And your body manifests trauma. And so you've got to learn to embody some action in that healing process. You've got to move, you've got to train, you've got to sweat. I encourage everybody to get involved in some type of martial art. Heavy bag work, heavy lifting. You know, your nervous system resets when your body moves. And then another thing is you've got to set some boundaries. You've got to stop surrounding yourself with people who fuel the same old story over and over. Build some guardrails, build some walls, create some space for growth. And then you need brotherhood. Because men heal faster when they're not alone. This lone wolf mentality, I've got another video that I've done on that lone wolf fallacy and that black sheep fallacy, that lie that we've been taught and perpetuated for years and years about the lone wolf mentality. And the thing is, we are not created to be lone wolves. Wolves are created to be lone wolves. We are not created to be a lone wolf. And men heal faster when they're not alone. They need other men that can call out your excuses and call out your BS and refuse to allow you to just sit there and wallow in it. This truth is painful. It's like a gut punch when you hear it. But the thing is, you've been hypnotized to believe you're fragile, that you need endless hand-holding, and you can't change unless a professional gives you permission to change. Well, I'm giving you permission today. And I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. You're not broken, you're stuck. And the way out isn't more talking, it's more truth. So let me issue a challenge for you today. I want you to get out the notebook. You know, we talk about notebooks. I've got my notebook here, this Lockbee, that's got 4 different notebooks inside of it there that I use for basically journaling my life, planning out everything. I'm a firm believer in analog, pen to paper work. So here's my challenge for you. Get a notebook out and to write down one thing, not everything. Don't try to encompass all of it right here at the very beginning of this process, but one thing that you've been lying to yourself about. You may have even lied to yourself about it this morning. You may have lied to yourself about it as you watched this video. But write down one thing that you've been lying to yourself about. And then I want you to find a trusted friend, brother, mentor, confidant, somebody that you feel comfortable with, and say it out loud to that person, to that support group, that other man this week. And then take one action. Just one simple action. What is the smallest step you can take that proves to yourself that you're done lying? Maybe it's scheduling a consultation for some coaching work that's not going to last forever, but to help you get a plan together to move forward. Maybe it's making the phone call. Maybe it's picking up a book at the bookstore that you've been meaning to get to help you with the issue that you're working on. But whatever it is, one small action that proves to yourself you're done lying. That's it. It's simple, but it's not easy. It is not easy, but it's transformational. So here's the final punch. Therapy has its place, but it's never meant to replace the truth. So if you're waiting for another session or another diagnosis or another expert to come in and save you, you're going to die waiting. It's time to stop hiding behind those labels. Stop confusing venting with the process of growth. And stop paying professionals to babysit your excuses. And I've said before that I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to help people. I have a full-time job outside of this practice. And so what you need today is not more therapy. It's not more counseling. It's not more coaching. What you need is truth. What you need is to break that negative trance today.